Right.
Okay, we're live. Go.
Good evening, everybody. It's wee Paddy and it's Judd, and the fella on the other side of the screen is Matt from Slipjoint Sawyer, who's just about a couple of weeks now, not just about knives, but on YouTube. So feel free to ask him as many complicated questions, make him feel nervous. We're blooding him in so they can hit the road well next week. Only joking.
Go for it.
My granddaughter wants to give us her tip for today, and it's
Happy Knife Day.
there you go. Give them thumbs up and say bye.
Bye.
Thank you. She was waiting all afternoon to do that. We've been babysitting today.
Dying to do it.
Right, let's get into it.
Absolutely.
Have you any notices you want to say about anything you want to?
No, we'll do that. We'll do that next time. Because let's give Matt his moment.
Yes, we'll give Matt his moment. Right. Matt, tell us a wee bit about yourself, where you're from, how long you've been collecting knives, and why you wanted to come on YouTube.
Sure. So I'm Matt. I live in South Wales at the moment, so not too far away from everybody, but on the coastline, so it's nice and quiet here. Been collecting for about 3 or 4 years. Not too long, really, but I'm still only a baby, really. 31.
Did you say South Wales?
South Wales, yeah.
Pat, sorry. I didn't realize this. I thought you were from England. My ex-wife was from Wales.
I'm not Welsh. It's good. I'm English.
Yeah, my ex-wife was Welsh Wales. We could have gone down a whole bad path there. Sorry, go ahead.
Been collecting for about 3-4 years, mainly traditional knives. I've got a couple of modern ones, but for me, traditional is where I'm really at. It all started really with my Victorinox. My father bought me this for my 21st. So I've had it for 10 years and it's still in pretty good nick. I mean, it's taken a bit of a beating, to be honest, but it still works, everything. I've still got everything on it. It's got a nice little lanyard, but it serves me great every day. I carry it most days.
Is that a climber or a huntsman?
Yeah, it's a climber with the little, is it the hook, the parcel hook or whatever they call it? The little hook on the back.
There you go. Very nice. And that's the Silvertech scales, isn't it?
Yeah. It's taken a beating. The blades have like worn down loads on it. They've had it.
That's the way this should be.
Definitely.
Yeah. Had it. Everything's half bent, but it still works.
So did you sort of kick around the time of COVID when it hit? Was that the time that you started really collecting?
Yeah, along that sort of time. Like the job I was in at the time, I was doing a lot of outdoor work, so I carried a knife, which was the Victorinox for most of it. And then I got myself a Buck 112 Slim, just a little lockback to use. And I recently just bought the normal 112 Ranger because I've ruined the back as well. It's so nice. I've got the 110, but the Ranger it's just for the size of it. It's a nice size in your hand rather than the 110 being, half the size of your head.
Yeah.
And I
bought the 110 last year. It was too big.
Yeah, I do use the 110, but this is by far a better knife. Just purely for the size, and it doesn't weigh 50 tons either. But that's basically where I was from. Just started collecting in COVID. After that, I got myself a Luna, the original black G10 D2 thing, and then after that, it was like a bomb exploded basically, and then the floodgates opened. And then I found your channel, and it ruined everything.
You're pretty much describing a very common experience.
You buy one knife, and you're like, I could do with another one, and then there's another one, and another one, and another one, and the next thing you know, you're bankrupt. You bought 8,000 knives.
Yeah, we've all been down there. Justin started off with Victorinox. He was a Victorinox collector. Thank you so much, Everyday City Carry. My God, Ray, how are you doing? It's nice to see you. Thank you so much. Sorry, I have to interrupt because some people are putting. He put in a $5. So just to say thank you. We've also got Mike Curtis, Knife Delights, Tom, who's not well. Give him your prayers.
Get well soon, Tom.
And Knife Delight. Who else to say? Gizmo's here.
And Gadget
Gus.
Gus is here.
He'll be on here very shortly doing what you're doing now. You just jumped ahead because you were a complete newbie and we wanted a newbie.
Sorry,
we'll get the old fella Gadget Gus next week or the week after.
Yeah, that'll be That'll be you bring our sort of demographic average down a wee bit, so you do, Matt. You know, and we might actually start hitting 50 if you stick around for a wee bit. But
you should see us on a Sunday.
Average age has plummeted.
Yeah, but no, as I was just saying, what your experience pretty much mirrors my own. I mean, it was a COVID. It was a COVID insanity prevention kind of trip. Where I had a couple of Swiss Army knives and then discovered that there was a whole world of them out there, and they weren't that expensive. So I just started spending money on them, and before I knew it, I had like 100 of the damn things, and and then I made the mistake of contacting this agent here, and then a whole other rabbit hole opened up, and then traditionals and locking knives.
I've been on here 6 years, and he lives about 10 minutes away from me. And we never met each other. We never. There's only just how long ago was it? About
a year and a half or something.
Is it that long now? About a year and a half we met, and it's so nice having a knife person close to you.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
The madness, the insanity.
Yeah, just to share your craziness with someone else who's also equally as crazy.
Yeah.
I've got quite a few subs from South Wales. I'll have to keep my eye out for them because I can't remember them by name, but I'm gonna keep the eye out to see where they are. And I think there's a few down in South Wales now.
There you go.
So it'd be lovely. You know, as you get along, it's nice to get somebody close to you.
Yeah.
It really does make a difference.
Yeah, it is easier. You can meet up with people, share the same hobby, and it always makes it better.
And like Justin just came around tonight and gave me a knife that he bought that I want to do for a review next week. So that's the way we do it. Just send them about to each other.
That's a nice one.
That's a Tony Bowes. He sent me a lovely Tony Bowes back pocket in a beautiful green bone. So it's very tempting.
Absolutely. But Matt, what made you do the YouTube thing then? You've explained the knife thing, which we all understand.
To be honest, I've wanted to do it for a while, like the last sort of year and a bit, watching people on YouTube, like watching Paddy, RJ, Tom and Knife Selects as well, just like, they're doing their own thing, they're loving it. People are enjoying what they watch. And then Paddy commented on my video and told me to start a YouTube channel, and I said, okay, if you're pulling my arm, and then this happened.
How many subs are you up to?
Like 96, I think.
Nothing at the competition.
96, I think. I don't know. I haven't checked yet.
96 or something. Yeah, he's nearly got 100 in his first 2 weeks.
We got to get him over the 100.
Yeah.
We got to get him over.
Yeah. If you can, if you're in the chat tonight, we only need about another 4 or 5 to get Matt over the 100. So please go and subscribe to him and come back if you like what you see. Knife Delights, Tom. Thank you. There's no need for that at all. You're not well. Your wife. You're giving money away. Get your wife in.
That's money.
You could go spend it on. Yeah, go spend it on more buck knives. You haven't got enough of those.
So please do. If you're in the chat tonight, I'm eating the sweet.
No, that would explain.
It's not my teeth going again.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, what have you got in your pocket today? Or what would you carry on a normal day?
On a normal, it kind of really depends. When you probably all have the same thing. You wake up and you go, and then you spend 10 minutes looking at your collection. You've got no idea what you want. And I've sort of did a thing where I just sort of like do this and then just like rummage around and just pull my hand out. But today I've had the tortoiseshell Rough Rider Barlow, the single bladed one. This is quite a recent one.
Yeah, they're nice. I'm not a tortoiseshell lover, but they look nice. I have to say they've
done a pretty good job on the Barlow. I've got a sow belly in the same pattern and stuff, and they haven't done quite a good job on the material. You can see quite a lot through it. You can almost see like the back spaces through it, or the sort of like the scales like underneath. Yeah. But this one it's not opaque, but it's nice and dark, so you can't see all the way through.
Yeah. And the nice thing about it is the shield, and there's no big R on it, which I really do. That's
there is no big R. That's the best thing about it, really.
Yeah, they seem to have stopped doing that on quite a few of them, or their more recent releases.
Well, they said they've stopped it. We are just getting the fall in because they make so many in advance, but they're changed their tooling now, so we're not going to get it.
Well, happy days.
Yeah, and then whatever they're making now, I'm pretty sure there'll be no bolsters.
Yeah, I was looking at Pete's channel yesterday, and he got the new Rough Rider Reserve. It's a massive. It looks like it's about 9 inch, and it's like
is it the one with the hand guard?
Yeah, it's like a katana, the old
Tanto?
katana. No, the katana sort of blade shape, that blade shape that with the Spanish havaja. You know that?
Yeah,
the curved handle
kind of thing.
It's
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
it's similar to that sort of shape of a knife, but it looks fantastic.
Really?
It's huge, but because of the looks of it, I'm definitely going to have to get it. It's just
you
looks
seen-
lovely.
Have you seen the new Rough Rider Reserve Patriarch?
Yeah, was that the one Big Red had on?
Yeah, earlier on today
Yeah.
he put it up.
It's
Been looking at that
lovely.
on Smoky Mountain for a while. I quite like the Damascus one.
Yeah, I think
I
if I get
don't know.
Damascus, I tend not to use them though. So
No,
I don't
like
get Damascus anymore.
I've got a couple of Damascus ones. Like I showed that the Luna yesterday.
Yeah, oh,
I do use it. I do use it, but like nothing. Like the Victorinox gets hammered to bits. That I just can't use over the letter because I know I'll ruin it.
I don't overuse anything, to be honest with you. I've probably been overusing my new Sebenza more than any other knife. I've been cutting everything with it just to see. I took it down to 15 degrees per side. It's a flipping slicing machine. It really is super. I'm really enjoying it. And it's only S35 VN, but seems to be a great edge.
I mean, but if you had one, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. It's just
suppose the question.
The amount of knives I used to say, I'm going to buy that, but I don't know whether I'm going to use it much or not. They're usually the knives I end up using the most, if that makes any sense.
Every single knife I buy, I use. I use it all the time. Like I haven't got a huge collection, but every one I buy, I don't buy it just to sit around in the cupboard. Like I use them all, not to the same extent, but they all do get used. I don't see the point in buying it just to be sort of like a showpiece. I'm all for buying it.
I mean, that's the thing about YouTube. That's the thing about YouTube. There is a lot of people who are just buying showpieces, and you know that's absolutely fine if that's what you want. I mean, a lot of mine you would probably say they're showpieces, but I still use them, just not hard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just not hard.
I'm not so much of a hard use for my knives now. When I first started collecting, I was because I was doing like sort of outside work. But my job mainly now is not like office work, but I'm on the computer a lot, so I don't really hard use my knives daily. But doing stuff around the house and things like that, from gardening, or if I just want to go and cut some trees because I want to use a knife, just go for it.
I think,
according to my family, I mean, I wouldn't know what hard work looked like if it came up and slapped me in the face. So actual hard use of a knife it would be completely alien, not at all. But actually, you mentioned the Luna there, and I think I saw one of your podcasts. You were doing 3, but I think you had a 4th one, a brass one as well.
Yeah, I've got about 6.
Or
I've got about 6 all in all, 6 Lunas. I kind of went a bit obsessed with them for a while. But there's a couple there. Like I had the brass one. I did show that briefly, but I've got some of the Jusaya knife distribution in Germany. Jusaya.de, and they have exclusives every so often. And I've got it's like Damascus G10 they call it. It's like blue with like swirls through it of like a light blue. I got one. It's like black and white as well. I'll have to grab them later on and bring them up. I haven't got them with me now. But they're good. They're just the normal D2 steel, but they're fantastic knives as well. The G10 is fantastic on them.
Yeah, I've seen them swirl ones, the G10 ones. They look really good. It just brightens your tray up. I mean, you look down and you see, for years it was black, green. What was the other? Orange. That was the scale colors of all them the knives. Now it's really changing, especially for modern traditional.
Right. Very true.
Yeah,
very good.
For me, it was always like I wanted.
Sorry, go ahead.
I wanted like titanium ones for a while, so I was like, I went through a bit of being like titanium, and then my collection was just a grey slab, and I was like, well, I want something else now.
Yeah, I know what that's like. And it is funny because you get sucked into the various little obsessive waves of stuff. Titanium is one of them. Micarta is another one, but I have to say micarta, because of the variety of micarta that you can get, it does tend to be quite rewarding, and along with everything else.
I love
fiber is another one. Yeah.
I like like Paddy says, you get all your hand oils in it, and it changes every week with your micarta, whatever you're doing. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
It's funny. I do like it, but I don't have many knives in it. If that makes sense.
It's strange that
you do get. I have had more before than I've got now, but for whatever reason, I have no idea. You just go through these wee valleys up and down where you get something like a Luna, and you just get obsessed with it nearly sometimes. Now, the longer you do it, the less obsessed you last mostly. But
yeah, it's because you find a new obsession.
Yeah, you just find another obsession and it takes over.
For me,
and the thing is not to let yourself. Oh gosh. The thing is with a channel, and when it's because it gets expensive trying to keep up with the latest fad, and you'll find out very quickly that it is expensive, and you have to sort of. Well, my advice is to buy what you like rather than what you think everybody else will like.
Well, that's what I've started doing sort of recently. Because I was going for like M390 and stuff when that was big. I got the Who Knives V1 flipper and things like that. And for what I use it for now, it's not worth me getting M390. I'll never ever dull it for my everyday use at the moment. So
don't think that will stop you getting them in the future, though.
No, I know. I said I wasn't going to do it, and I bought them anyway. So.
We make each other promises nearly on a week, and I mean that in about a weekly basis.
What's this each other?
We decide
you make promises. I listen to you and laugh in your face. You break the promise.
It's terrible. We are like children. Every week we say we're going to do something.
No more locking knives, or not another Sebenza, and then another Sebenza.
Yeah.
There's Tony.
Oh, Tony, how do you see it? I don't know whether you've seen the last week or the last podcast.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Tony Meador, some knives there,
fantastic
beautiful knives.
And we were just talking about knives that could potentially be safe queens, and most of Tony's knives should be, and if not in an art gallery, safely put away in a safe. But he's another agent who loves to use his knives and almost use them. Tony with love, by the way. Agent is a term of affection in Ireland.
I'm all about it. Like if I'm like doing a bit of gardening or pruning some trees, I'll be using a GEC to do that. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah,
go for it.
No, I've tried to keep to it, but I can never. Within a week, I've done it. I've used it. So the amount of times I've said in this channel, I'm going to not use this one very much. This will be put to the side.
No, it always has something.
There's always something. There's always a reason for it.
It's a liar right in you, this hobby.
It definitely.
You lie to yourself on a daily basis.
There's definitely a little bit of deceit here, because the number of knives I have hidden from my wife or headed the postman off at the end of the drive, that kind of thing.
I'm just going to the shop, and then you like opening it and throwing it in the bin next to you. Sneak into the collection.
That's it, exactly. I think she knows. I think she knows every time.
That one looks new. Oh no, I've had that for ages.
Classic. You know all the best lines.
I know the tricks. Yeah. I've been there.
No, I live under a different regime. We have a joint bank account. I can get away with nothing. So Sally I'll go and say, look, love, I've seen one that I just had to buy, and she doesn't even ask what it is anymore. She says, how much? Right, no more this month. And that's it. It's just she's given up completely. I'm a lost cause.
Yeah. She just knows now. She's like, there's no money left. Oh, another knife's come out.
What do you see for yourself in the future with YouTube? Where do you want to go? Are you going to stick on the traditional, or are you going to mix it up?
I'm not too sure. I can stick on the traditional for now. I do like locking knives, but I also can't carry them in the UK because for some reason the lock makes you into a criminal. But no, I'm mainly traditional for now. I just want to, just see where it goes. Happy just to make videos for now.
Yeah.
Like interact with the community, get to know a load of people, which is a nice thing for me.
Yeah.
Because there's no one sort of in my area that I've met anyway that has the same sort of hobby. Like I speak to my friends and they're like, why have you got so many knives? It's like, well, you've got loads of trainers. Why have you got so many trainers? Like, we all collect something. I like sharp, pointy things. You like knife trainers.
It really is very strange. Men have to have a hobby of some sort or a collection of something. There's that. It's nearly like a rite of passage. You're entitled to have a hobby that means you collect useless stuff.
No, it really is. I'm actually really glad I found the knives.
Yeah,
because I was actually starting to spend an absolute fortune on hiking gear and things like that. And then I mean, I'm too old to be going hiking comfortably anymore, especially trying to do ultralight hiking and things like this, which is where all the money was being attracted. And so the knives became an awful lot, not more justifiable to me, you know, because it's something concrete and that you can hold in your hand and can use and can carry.
Yeah.
And
you don't just open the cupboard, look at your hiking gear, and then close the door.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't put it in your pocket every day, you know, sort of thing.
No.
Well, here I'm going to give you a promise now. This is a promise for this summer.
Brace yourself.
I am going to get outside and make videos down at the beach in a little forest, where, you know, just a place with a couple of trees. I'm not called camping anymore, but I'm going to do more cutting out there, light a wee fire, have a cup of tea, and chat about my latest knife, sitting around a wee fire or something.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Which I hope you're going to join in with. And we can have campfire videos.
Excellent. That would be first class. That would be brilliant.
There's a lovely place literally just out the back here. It's down behind the golf course.
Fantastic.
Cornley, and you can go down there, and it's way down the hill. It's lovely.
Brilliant.
So that's our plan for this year. And that's the other thing. Are you an outdoorsman? Would you go outside with your knives much, or?
Yeah, no, I do. I go out, like I'm out in the garden with them all the time doing stuff. I'm gardening, but wherever I'm going, if I do camp occasionally, but I haven't been. I haven't been yet this year. It'd be more of a summer thing. I go out and do outdoor stuff. Not so much bushcraft, but you know, like I make my own fire and stuff with them. Yeah, things like that. Nothing immense though. Just to be outside and use them really.
Put that up. That's Peter Tiffany. I don't know Peter. I don't know Peter. Do you know Peter? I can't think of him off the top of my head. Anyway, very funny. Paddy, will you have a mankini on?
It's not very funny, Peter. That image is now seared into my brain.
Yeah.
It is a very bad image.
It will become your reality before this year's out. There will be a mankini
I wish I was calm and I couldn't see through my hands.
No.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
That's this year's one.
Yeah, it'd be really fun. But the other thing is Matt, now that you're on the radar, is Stephen and I are going to try and get across to the Sharp and Shiny show in England this year, now that all the restrictions are lifted anywhere. And actually, I have sort of special dispensation from the good lady wife herself. So we're on for that, definitely. So if you can make it up to wherever they're holding the Sharp and Shiny, and we can arrange,
that'd be good.
That would be brilliant if we could. But let's not make any arrangements now. But let's keep it in mind and start thinking about it for the year ahead. You know,
I can't even remember what month it's in.
Well, was it July?
October.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? It was October, Matt.
Yeah, that's good. That's October sounds. I would like that in October.
Richard from Heine Haynes was saying that they're going up there as well. I speak to him a little bit on Instagram. He's going up there for that. So.
That's when you know you're buying far too many knives. Once you start knowing Richard and everybody.
Yeah, I know. Every month, can you get me these, please? Thanks.
And I hear you said to us early on off screen, you've got some Ashley Harrison. That's really nice to see you getting in.
Yeah, you got me onto that one. As soon as you had one of your first ones up there, I was like, I want one. And then every single time he was posting, I was putting, is it for sale? Is it for sale? And you were always on there first.
We do exactly the same.
Yeah,
we do it exactly
I managed to get the, I think they call it burlap micarta.
Oh, I haven't seen one
still.
That's nice. I like that. I like burlap micarta.
It's used. There's like patina all over it. I don't polish it once it's used. It's just on there forever.
You know, it's really hard to explain to somebody when you're getting a custom knife for, 100, maybe a wee bit more, whatever it is, at that price for a custom knife made by one person the whole way through. The joy I get out of getting them knives. Now, you're not going to get the modern steel. Even Ashley's 01 tool steel is not as hardened as most 01 tool steels would be, because they make it the traditional ways. A little messer is what they call them in the trade. And but I mean, it's so lovely to get somebody that's still doing that old type of a knife.
Especially the fit and finish that came with this. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
but it's like bang down the middle.
Yeah,
like, there's not even a tiny bit to the side. It's basically perfect, really. I think I paid 75 or 80 quid for it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just for what you get. It's got to be the best custom you'll ever buy. I think, because you can take it out and batter it, and you're not going to worry.
There was one of the first I came across, and that's my Ashley Farmer, as he calls it. So, and that's an olive wood with the twin bolsters, and it's just cracking, So he does do some phenomenal work.
You've got the single bladed trapper with the Damascus steel as well. Is that right?
We both had one of them. Yeah.
I've got the other one.
Oh, did you get the other one?
yeah.
Fantastic. Because I got the blue one. Which one did you get? Did you get the honey colored one?
The brown one, or brown sort of. I can't remember. I think it was mango wood or something along those lines. But the brown.
It was gorgeous. It really was.
I got the green wood, but I still think to this day that I got the best figuration.
Well, you got the spine work. I think you.
That one is fantastic.
That is the figuration in that wood is just unbelievable. I got a little bit of file work in it, but it's just.
I love that. I love the green on that. Yeah, I think when these ones went up, there was. I think he did a G10 one, and then 2 different micartas. So there's a choice of 3. So I went for this one, the most sort of natural material, which is why I went for the burlap micarta.
Yeah.
Other than the G10, which is the earthy sort of color. Because I will use it outside, and if I drop it in the mud, I drop it in the mud.
It is interesting to see him going with more modern materials because he normally uses more natural materials.
Yeah, I think because this is his custom, and he's always wanting to learn more. So the more different materials, they all have a certain way of putting them together or whatever. Gadget Gus is going to try and get to the show as well.
Oh, this will be fantastic. A cup of tea and some shortbread and or whatever else we decide to do.
That's nice to see Byron here and Mike Curtis. We're trying not to miss too many names, but and don't forget, boys. Right, I'm going to get strict on this tonight. You're going to get homework. If nobody hits that bloody like button before you leave, you're getting banned. That's it. End of the story.
Permanently banned.
Refer you to my previous comments about him making promises that he never actually keeps.
No one will be banned. Sorry, I didn't mean it. Please come back.
Hang on a second. I'm going to put a sort of one of those wee banners along the bottom of the screen that says, "No one will be banned from this week's class."
Stuart McRae, you're very welcome. Paddy's Potato Pudders Picnic. Yep, that would be a lovely one. Yeah.
And Paul 13 is going to say he's saying that he would love to get in.
Oh, Paul's in. Oh, good. Yes, get Paul down for the picnic. Well,
absolutely.
I can show my vast quantity of bushcraft skills,
and I can take out all my camping gear for crying out loud.
Yeah, bring it down and show it.
You can actually use it.
More titanium pots than I know what to do with. Good grief.
So what are you boys carrying today?
What am I carrying today? Well, actually, I did what Stephen usually does, and forgot that I had been carrying a locking knife around the house all day, and then accidentally, on purpose, came out with it.
I know that does happen sometimes. It's happened quite a few times recently with the 112. I've accidentally left it in my pocket. Accidentally.
I'll turn that around for you so you can get the other side.
What scales are on that? Is that like the copper infused scales?
Yeah, that's the Raffia Noble Chaparral. That's another one of my
newest acquisitions.
It's just.
I have to say, this is beautiful. You know, like you were saying about the turtle scales,
the tortoise shell.
Yeah,
it's that sort of style, but much better looking. If you higher grade. It is lovely. There's a depth in it when you look into it. There's such a lovely depth, which is nice.
And it is.
I love the shape of that. It reminds me a bit of like the little native slip bit I've been looking for I don't know how long. And it's either 200 quid, which I'm not prepared to pay, or you don't have one.
Yeah.
It's
one of the knives that I want this year. I was carrying the George Wilson home. This is a nice old George Wilson home in beautiful nick.
That's just white bone, or is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's bone or it's plastic. People keep saying if you put it to your teeth, you'll know, but I've got false teeth, and they always feel plastic.
So, I'm not trying it after you've had it in your gum.
Yeah.
Get off.
So I've been carrying that around. In fact, I've been sitting here.
There's a cracking snap off.
That is beautiful. I got that from Frank at Framar Knives, the boy who does the Jack Wolf knives over here.
Yeah.
and he sent that to me as a Christmas present. It's one he'd had in his collection for years. And honestly, you couldn't have given me a better knife. It's just
good bone as well.
beautiful. It really is. Just a wee jackknife, but my God, it's lovely.
That's a cracker.
Really
Yeah,
nice.
I mean that with you. I'd rather be given like an older used knife that's got some history in it, that's handmade.
Yeah.
If someone gifted me the latest, like I don't know, what's the new S45VN or whatever the new high super Magna Mega Cut, whatever they're called, I'd much rather have an old one.
Okay, hang on a second, Matt. Okay, you started it. Give me the Bizarre. Give me the titanium one.
The what?
Where's the titanium one?
Titanium what?
The titanium Magna Cut one.
The one he gave me with the star.
The Bizarre.
The bear.
The bear.
I don't know what you were talking about there. I thought
okay.
At a secret.
You started this, Matt. So it's school's out. Okay, we're starting school now. Stephen, repeat after me 3 times. Magna Cut, Magna Cut, Magna Cut.
Magna Cut, Magna Cut, Magnet. But it looks like Maximate.
No, this is Maximate. This is Magna Cut. Okay.
I mean, do you like modern traditionals?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got I don't really have any here with me now. I mean, I've got the newer Rough Rider. I've got a Sow Belly from Case. I think it's the Tony Bowes, one of the Tony Bowes ones.
Beautiful,
like olive synthetic.
That is a lovely one.
Where's my?
I do have modern traditionals. I've got the MKM Edge. I did a short on that on my YouTube. I've got that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I wanted to ask you about that actually while you're opening that one up, Matt. And before we get into it, the MKM Edge, because I was looking at it on Heine, it's down to an incredibly low price.
That's where I got it. Yeah,
it's less than 50 quid at the minute for
49.
M390.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought you'd got M390 for 50 quid?
I know, it's insane. What's it like as a knife though? Because it's such an unusual design. I was really reluctant to pull the trigger.
I mainly got it because I saw that I used to look at it about a year ago when I was looking for like modern knives. And I was like, I'd love to get one of those, but I can't justify paying that much. So when it went down, I was like, I can get it now. I can get it at that price, easy. It won't even bother me getting it at that price. It's good, but I don't like Tanto blades.
Fair enough.
I don't like the points, like the point that's in the corner that's here, because it always goes not dull but less sharp than the rest first. I don't know. I like it. It's the walk and talk on it's excellent. It's really well made. The steel's great, but I don't like Tanto. I don't know what it is about Tanto blades. They're not for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would prefer a reverse Tanto like the 940 and things like that.
Yeah.
I love that, but I think I only have one Tanto blade, and that was a Tucson, which is a gruesome looking knife that I've got. Yeah, I got that case. I got the Sow Belly case. That was the Tony Bowes. That's the Stag, that one.
Yeah.
I think it's much the
same.
Big
same
fat
design,
blades.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fat blades. I love them.
Thrifty Kniffy got me into these Sow Bellies. He's a bastard for that. Like, I was watching his videos, and I was like, oh, that's an alright knife, and now I've got about 15. I just got obsessed with Sow Bellies. Don't know what it is. That's what I'm going for at the moment. But this is just in the stainless steel, and their stainless steel is great. I don't know why it's so. I know people are put down to this like lower quality steels, but this lasts me a full day. There's 3 blades.
Oh,
if you can't, make 3 blades last a full day, there's something wrong in your head.
No, I mean there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I like carbon for the fact that usually when you get a carbon steel, it's a bit thinner. You can get a sharper edge, a keener edge on it. But that's all. I mean, it doesn't. There's not much difference. In fact, Pete over at Cedric and Ada a few years ago done the case carbon and the case True Sharp.
Oh, right. And
he done a cut test with the rope, and there was literally about 10 cuts difference between them.
That's nothing.
And he'd done it twice just to make sure that he hadn't, it wasn't just a fluke. So there's never been that much, but that's what makes me think that their carbon steel has not always been 1095. They've now brought out the 1095 version, and they're actually putting it on the blade. And if they had that on it, they would have had it on it right away from the word go.
Yeah, so there's no way it was 1095. Some of the older ones I've got a I think it's the medium Stockman pattern. The one with the thin clip point, like the Turkish clip. That's in their CV steel. It's good, but I think this holds an edge longer than the CV steel on that.
I think that there was it was something equivalent to a C70 steel that they had in theirs. I think. I don't think it was anywhere near 1095. But
no, it was good, but
mind.
not as good as the 1095 is.
And like the other thing is, you just never know what this heat treated to. You never know because they don't have it. They don't advertise it, so you can't question it if you don't know what it is. But
it's a similar thing with buck, though, isn't it? It doesn't matter really what the steel is. If you can do a good heat treat on a knife, I haven't sharpened this yet. I've had it for a week and a half. I've stropped it twice, and it's razor sharp still.
Yeah, but buck are renowned for that, and that's why just be careful with them boys over at RJ's Knives at the weekend, because they're now getting me thinking about buying locking knives, buck locking knives, as well as daggers, as well as big sword things.
That's one of the reasons I got this. Is because of Tom on there. He was going on about it at the 110. He was like, "Oh, the buck 110 is a fantastic knife." I was like, "Oh, brilliant! Now I'm going to buy that as well."
Yeah, it's they've got me, and my head's pickled because I don't really want to collect them, but they're brainwashing me every Sunday.
And this is the thing, no, a buck 110. I've got the 550, but which Paddy gave me, and it's perfect for me because it's just a small pen, not a buck kind of thing, and it's a traditional wooden and brass and whatever else. But for some reason, it doesn't feel like your collection's complete unless you've got a 110.
Yeah,
not even the 112. I know the one. I agree with you all the place, Matt, all the way that the 110 is too big big for what we need. But you gotta have one. You gotta have. You know, it gets in there.
6 years of collecting before I actually got one, and it lasted about 6 months of my collection. I loved it. It's beautifully made. The steel, there was nothing wrong with the steel. It's absolutely fine. Like I can get away with pot metal because I can sharpen a knife, so it doesn't matter to me what it is. But the knife was beautiful. It was made beautifully. There was nothing I could fault on it, except that when I put it in my pocket, I kept walking in circles. It was just, it's just such a big, heavy brute of a knife for everyday use.
Yeah. If we had, like, if we were able to carry locking knives here, I probably would carry it, like on the belt, on your belt, but. Because we can't carry locking knives, it's pretty much just a big spade for me, really. It's just like sits in the corner.
G-Ball, really nice to see you in here. Thank you so much. Randy WSG, thank you so much for coming over. Michael Morgan, if I don't see, how are you? The 110 Select. Yeah, Tom and that lot I think they're convincing me that I need something like that.
The lighter weight.
Yeah, I had the 112 Slim Select I had.
There's a 112
that was good.
Yeah, there's a 112 Sport that are really fancy. It's got S30, it's 30V, and a micarta handle. I think it's micarta in it. It's a beautiful little knife.
Micarta handle, and you can have a carbon fiber. I've seen on the Buck website.
Yeah, I fancy it in the lighter version, and I think the 112 would definitely be a keeper if I got it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to probably wait and get a nice sport one. It really does appeal to me.
I'd be interested to see, what the lighter ones feel like. Something in the back of my head is going, but if it's not that substantial thing, then it's not a proper buck. But obviously it is. It's just
it's strange. It's strange. It was like I think it was FRN handles. I think they were the Slim Select, and it was compared to the normal buck. It was like a feather in the weight. It's like the same. Blade steel was exactly the same. So it's so strange to have this is a buck 110 and this is a buck 110, but something's not right. One of them I can pick up, the other one I can't touch.
It's a buck 110 with an eating disorder.
Yeah.
It
was funny because I was watching Zach in the Wild this morning. And it was just one of his more recent ones where he was visiting the Buck factory, and he was going through and asking everybody about the stories. Every bugger in that factory had a one of the Buck 110 autos. They were flicking their knives out like
they were told the day before that he was coming.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
So they all got their fancy ones out and brought them into work.
Flicking it like, he's coming.
There was one girl there. There was one girl there who had like about 7 knives on her, including a boot knife, a sheath knife. God, it was hilarious. It was really good fun. And Zach is a laugh to listen to at the best of times anyway. So
the one thing I'm noticing now is there is a few more women coming. But about a year ago, there was a few, but it seems to have dried up again now, which is quite sad because I think it's nice having the women in to bring reality into us knife people because we live in a fantasy world most of the time. That we're going to fight with the
men. We're nuts anyway. Like we can't focus on more than one thing. And once you get a knife in your brain, that's it. You're done. Yeah.
It's so true.
It is the very definition of a one-track mind. Even if that one-track mind encompasses 150 different types of blade and knife.
Yeah, well, it's like you go on YouTube. I wonder if anyone else has reviewed that knife. I'll have a look. And then about 4 hours later, you watch 59 videos on the same knife.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah,
it's funny. It was said about women. The reason I took my Chris Reeve down to 15 degrees per side, because I would never do that with S35VM normally. I'm quite happy at sort of 18, maybe 17. That would do me. But it was a woman's video that I watched. A girl in America, and she done it with hers.
I remember you saying, yeah.
She's actually a labourer. She would go out and work with her knives, and she said she couldn't believe the difference because she wasn't enjoying the knife, because she wasn't getting the longevity out of it, because she worked on a farm and she was cutting bales, fruit. They were doing everything with a knife, and she done it, and she said she was having a good time. And I thought, this is the one and only time I'll probably take the risk, because it's brand new and I can reset it again if I don't like it. But I have to say, so far I have to say, last week I got the wee Elementum and the wee TI Elementum, because I love the Elementum, and then I got a good bargain on the wee version of it in titanium. Find it a little bit heavy, as we were saying, and it's a wee bit grey, as you were saying, Matt, earlier on as well. Yeah. But I started sharpening this to take it down to about, I was working on a 17 degree per side edge, and that was a week ago I started sharpening, and it's still in my shed, still clamped in my workshop. Workshop, still working again. It's S20V, is it? S20V. Yeah. So I mean, I've sharpened this. I've just started sharpening, so I've sharpened VG10 and D2. It's a absolute doddle compared to trying one of these harder things. I love 20 CV, as long as you've got the right sharpening system, is not hard to. It's not much harder than S30V or whatever.
So he keeps on saying. So there must be something wrong with my sharpening system.
No. You just need a higher grit of diamond, and it'll just cut your time in half. Because it's just that first cut that makes the difference. Once you get it done, all you're doing is smoothing it out till you get down to. That's it.
Yeah, very true.
It takes a wee bit longer, but I just think you're doing a wee bit of procrastination with that. But maybe
it was cold.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So I recently started freehand sharpening.
Well done.
We used to use the Lansky Deluxe diamond system. I've had that for ages. And I just got to the point where it's like, well, I can sit here and do it. I'm pretty sure I can guess the angle and it'll be all right. So I started sharpening on that, and I managed to put like a pretty decent edge on this. This is like an old Remington. I don't know if I can get the edge to show up, but from freehand, kind of see it there. It's quite hard to get to show.
Let me blow you up the full size. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, you can sort of see like the mirror edge on there.
Yeah,
very nice.
Very nice edge. Yeah. My trouble is laziness.
Freehand.
My trouble is laziness of going to that polished edge, because I know as soon as I cut something with it, or anything that's got a bit of grit or any substance, it's going to take the mirror polish off it. So I'm lazy. I make sure I do the first cut and then I rush the rest. If it's shiny, it's shiny. But that was mainly an experiment. But I'm exactly the same though. I'll get it down to the angle I want, test it. If it's sharp, it's a bit rough, stop it a little bit. That'll do. It cuts. Done. Yeah. My maintenance is at night time, sitting down in my chair. I have a 1,000 grit diamond stone that was a cheap one, and it must be about 2,000 or 3,000 by now because I've used it for so long. And that's what I just top up an edge with, and then I have a strop, and that's it. I mean, I'll do that every night. That's when Sally goes to bed, I get my knife out, strop it. So I very rarely have to sharpen, to be honest with you.
No, whatever I carry in the day, even if I don't really use it that much, I'll always strop it and then. Put it back the next day.
It's such a great lesson to learn. What's up, Mr. Lockney?
It's just down the road from us.
Just down the road from it. And absolutely great to see you.
And he's interested in looking at the slip joint. Now, he was looking at the Benchmade proper. Now, Mr. Lockney, I will warn you right now, and it could all kick off in the chat here, because Stephen does not particularly like the Benchmade proper.
It's the biggest waste of money out there. I think they had
I agree with Stephen. I don't like it either.
Now, I had one and I wanted to love it. And like I said, I did love it because I think the shape of it, everything about that knife is perfect except for the action. And the action is atrocious. It's sloppy. It just never feels good. There is no
I
walking
think
talk.
the correct word for it is wet. I think the action is just wet.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
If you want, I'm just going to give Mr. Lockney, if you ever want a knife around that price,
It's a good. Oh yes,
it's £150, and this is it. This is the Ace Farley, which is
Mouse Farley.
the giant mouse Farley. This
Get that
is what
instead. It looks better as
what
well.
the Benchmade proper should have been. It has got the most beautiful walk and talk on it. It does. It's micarta with a back. You're never going to get that much of a noise, but it's perfect. It really is. Good spring. I mean, you can't do that
Plus,
without
it goes on you every 3 seconds. The Benchmade proper, I had one for about 3 months, and before I got rid of it,
Yeah.
you just
I
even just
tried
cutting
so hard.
cardboard, you back up a little bit, it just folds over.
Yeah. I have to recommend this. It's M390 in it, which is a big upgrade in steel because you're only getting 30 S30V on a proper. That is in micarta. It was green micarta, and I dyed it blue, and it takes a dye absolutely beautiful. So if you get the lighter color micarta one, you can dye it whatever color you want. So really highly recommend that. And their Fraymar knives is where you get them from.
Yeah, I think they may be available through Heine, but I don't think you get the same selection in Heine, and I don't think they're any cheaper, to be honest. But definitely go to Fraymar Knives online and have a look for that. I would concur with that. I mean, I've been looking out for a Farley just if I can get one on the second-hand market, because I really can't afford to spend.
There was one for £100 on the thing.
Yeah, I know I missed out on it. I think I did. So, but I definitely want one with the micarta handles, because you can get. I think you can get
copper,
one in brass and copper.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to cut down on the weight ones. And the beauty about the Farley is that it's actually smaller than it looks.
Yeah.
And it
looks big, but
say again, Matt. Sorry.
It looks big, but like when you look at the dimensions and stuff, when you can see it in hand, it's a lot. It's a lot smaller. It's a weird one.
Yeah, I have a large hand, right, and it doesn't go across my palm, but the way it's contoured around the base of the knife, it folds in. Your finger just folds into it. Not that I'm ever going to use a little penknife with a full grip like that. Most of the time, I'm using it like this, so the size doesn't matter that much. And I've tied a wee knot up here, and it's just perfect. I love this little knife. Can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, and there is another good point here, though. Just concerned with the nail neck due to hand dexterity, and I think Mr. Loughney, you mentioned some arthritis problems. And Katie, Knife Delights has got some advice for you here that might be useful.
Well, else would be good as well. The Kaiser mini sheepdog at Heine. That's like a detent knife. The detent's strong on it, but there's enough for you to pinch and pull it open.
Yeah, well, I can actually pinch this now quite easily. It's not a strain, which is nice. But Tom at Knife Delights, strangely enough, said a Buck Spitfire. But I'm actually
I don't know where he gets the back ideas from.
Yeah, I'm really thinking of getting one of them myself, because they look a lovely little knife.
I haven't actually seen the Buck
Spitfire. Beautiful looking little knife, I have to say. I'm trying to think. Here's another one if you've got dexterity problems. The QSP.
Oh, I got one of those. Fantastic.
The QSP Hedgehog is about £50. It's in D2. It's got a beautiful hollow ground, a thin edge. Very, very easy to pinch open. It's not hard, but yet it's enough to feel secure with. But beautiful buy at just £50, which if you want to go down there, that's the one for you.
It's so thin behind the edge, that one as well.
Really is. Beautiful knife.
Yeah.
I think for everybody in the chat as well, Mr. Loughney, like ourselves, is kind of constrained by the local legislation, and that we're limited to slip joints. So we try to keep our advice, but then that right, because I'm just looking at the Spitfire, and it is a cracking little knife. It really is.
And there's so many different colors of it too. You can pick one to go whatever. You'll get one close to that color.
Oh,
your nose pick green.
Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. Well, yes, I think you've got another taker on the QSP.
Yeah, I mean, it's just for that money. You genuinely don't have to pay huge money anymore. When you can get M390 for 50 quid, the same as a QSP Hedgehog, the world is definitely for knife. This is the ultimate time for knife collectors or somebody trying to get into knives, because you're going to get stuff that we would have dreamed about. Mine was all 8CR13 and 440C when I came around. And that was,
I still got Rough Riders. I still buy Rough Riders with the 440A, 440B.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I still buy the Ganzos.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I've traded or bought. I bought it off you.
The 720.
Yeah.
Small, yeah.
So I still buy them. And funny, QB were on the phone. They sent me a knife ages ago and then never sent me any more. I think it was probably because it was a bad review. Well, it wasn't a bad review. I just don't think. I think they thought they wouldn't get the custom from here, but I think they must have got something. So they're going to send me another knife. The one in the post to me, they've sent it already. I don't know whether it's one or two, but it'll be nice. I've tried a couple of the QBs, and this just really for I've forgotten your bloody name now. No, who is it? Matt.
It happens to me as well. I'm sitting beside him, Matt. Don't worry about it. It's not personal.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
To the wife, don't worry. Where was it now? You see, you've wrecked my train of thought.
It'll come back to you.
Where was it talking about?
Nice.
Where am I?
Yeah. It's okay, mate. It's okay.
It's
Mr. Loughnane is very appreciative. I think he's got something to look for. What I would say is Matt's recommendation of the Kaiser Sheepdog is also one I'd concur with, because but just be aware that it is an unusual shaped knife. It is more of a cleaver, Matt.
Yeah, it's a cleaver.
But I've been looking at it with interest.
If you have a look on my channel, I've done a short on the Kaiser Sheepdog Mini. It's one of my first shorts on there. They show the action. It's easy to open. You can open it with a one thumb roll, or you can like spidey flick it. But it's easy for dexterity. There's so much of the blade showing, you can just pull it out. There's no stress or hassle or anything. It's nice and easy to open.
I think that's what I liked about the Jack Wolf knives, was how easy they are to open. Although they've got a maybe 7 pull, they've got such a big area and the full hollow ground. They pull open so easy and so lovely.
Well, it's the same with this Ashley Harrison. The pull on these, where they're strong.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's so much of the blade showing. You can just pull it open. You haven't even got to use the nail, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. However,
he got me one made this year. He got this made for me by Ashley, it's the most gorgeous knife. But the first night I have it, I just kept pulling it open by hand, and it's about a 9 pull from there. I ended up the next day with repetitive strain injury in my arm. It was so tough. So now I tend to use my fingernails, but it's a beautiful big Lanny's clip. That will do anything. It is just a stunning big knife. Really perfect big knife.
Yeah, but the pull on it is a killer. And I mean, I think that is one warning that we've got to put out to people. Beautiful as Ashley's knives are, they're not the easiest open in the world.
No. I mean, my thumbnail, I've ripped off my thumbnail off trying to open one before with my nail and stuff. It's like, well, I can't open that now for about a month till it grows back, so I'll just leave that there.
But I mean, even the Arthur Wrights, sometimes they can be a bugger to get open, which is Ashley and his father Michael own Arthur Wright. Ashley just does customs on the side, but this is an Arthur Wright knife at £38. I just think that's a bargain of the year. I mean, it's just even the rosewood, it's done so well. And £38. Look at that back spring. This wasn't one that
for that money. It's amazing. Like I got one.
If you get a little gap in the back spring, so what? As long as it doesn't affect the knife. At £38, you've got a cracking knife.
Yeah.
Another one there, Gadget Gas, the After Worn clip. I've seen them. They're fantastic looking knives.
Yeah. And even the Rough Rider, the denim micarta work knife is one that keeps on coming back and coming back. So yeah, there's lots of options there, and I mean, don't be afraid of going for a cheap knife a cheaper knife to try out the pattern. I mean, that's how a lot of it.
Exactly why I buy Rough Riders. Like the sow belly, I wasn't sure if I'd like it, so I bought a Rough Rider sow belly, and then I'm obsessed. So it's how I start.
I've always said that in my channel, start cheap, because that's the only way you're going to get to know what you like, what you don't like. And you're not wasting so much money. A lot of people come around and they'll collect for maybe 2 years, and then they disappear and you don't see them again because they've tried to keep up with the Joneses, if you like, and buy the more expensive knives. I mean, I have them now. I love having them now. I wouldn't change it for the world. But starting wise, I think you miss out if you don't go through that progression of learning what you really like, what you can get away with, what steel is going to be your bottom line. And once you learn that and learn how to sharpen, you're flying.
No,
for me, I'm not bothered about the steel. I couldn't care if it's a spoon. If I can sharpen it and I can cut something with it, I'm happy. I'll carry a little mini sharpener with me, a little tiny ceramic kitchen knife sharpener. You can get them, and then I just cut them in half and just have that in my back pocket, and I'll just sharpen on that if I need to.
Are you talking about the DC4 or the CC4?
No, mine's like a proper, like a redneck version. I got a kitchen steel and just hacked it in half.
This is my exactly what you said.
Pocket sharpener.
This is the CC4. It's got a ceramic and about 1,000 grit, and there's probably more than 1,000 grit on the back of it.
But those little stones are fantastic if you're out for or even if you're going away for a couple of days, just to have it in your pack. You haven't got to worry about, I've got to take a steel that'll last. You can take whatever you want.
Yeah. This is 1,000 grit. It's a DMT. Is it DMT? No, die sharp. 1,000 grit. I just slide it in the back in case I have to do a wee bit of cutting. And I have a bit of leather strap on the front. And this could get me away for weeks away from home. That's all you need.
Well, the diamond stuff will last you for years and years and years and years. It'll just keep going.
Yeah. It's lovely to see somebody coming around who can sharpen, because I just think it really opens up the world of knives to you when you can sharpen.
Yeah. But before all this, I was a chef when I was a bit younger, so I've always been able to sharpen a knife, but not to the extent I can sharpen now.
What do you mean when you were a bit younger? You're hardly
showing off now.
Wet day. I was a chef when I was younger. For goodness
okay,
sake.
about 7 years ago when I was a chef. Last week when I was a chef. But no, I've always been able to sharpen, but not to the point where they've been proper razor's edge, because it never used to need to be that sharp. But since I've just been practicing at home,
I have to say that's got to be the moment when I finally cracked sharpening, and albeit with an angle system. When I finally cracked sharpening, and I could shave the back of my wrist like everybody on every sharpening knife channel always does.
My left arm is like bald all the way down here. No hair down here. But my right arm is hair everywhere.
But that was so satisfying getting to that point. And you suddenly go, okay, that's sharp. Yes.
When they say hair popping sharp, they mean it does pop off your arm. Yeah. It doesn't just fall off, it shoots off.
It's such a lovely feeling. I can still remember it was not room next door. In my front room, I learned how to get a really good edge. And the joy, that sort of glee, because I was a bushcrafter, and I could always get an edge in a knife, but I'd never got a really good edge in a knife. It's like when I was a boy, we sharpened it. I keep saying this, stones, I'm like a broken. We sharpened on the curb, or have you got a nice bit of stone from a river that was smooth? You'd have got your knife sharp again.
Well, can I borrow your ceramic mug? Can you tip your coffee out for me so I can sharpen on the back of it, please?
All right, the car window. I mean, I've gone through tried every tip that people have given me to get a knife sharp when you haven't got a sharpener. And it's so easy once you get that basics. And the other thing I was going to say with Mr. Loughney as well, I have to get your name, mate. I can't remember your name. You see, when you're coming around and you've got questions like you have, this is a great channel, or not a great channel. This is a great community. That your favorite YouTuber, ask them, questions like, what knife would you suggest? And they'll give you you don't have to buy it, but you write the name down and go on to YouTube and then check the knives out and see if it's the same sort of feeling that in the community as it is by your. But it is lovely asking questions. Look, we love getting somebody asking us a question. rather than having to do all the talking, which I find hard to believe sometimes. But
Well, I can hardly get a word in edgeways, for goodness sake. So
No comment. No comment.
I'm not sure whether I like him or not. This is good. This could be his career, right?
kidding? He's my kind of people. He is my people.
One live and done now. That's it. YouTube here over.
Matt, between the two of us, we might have a chance at controlling this man. I doubt it, but at least we can try.
I know I'm going to have to.
Oh, the Mr. No More Spends, you mean?
I just wanted to show you this knife he brought over for me. It's a big case back pocket. They're going to be doing a video on it next week. Well, look at that.
Is that the corn cob jig?
Yeah, it would be. No, it's not. Well, it's like a corn roll jig. It's not that.
Yeah.
There isn't much of the cob, but it's just. What do you see the size of this blade on it? Oh, where's that? Oh, here it is. It's just a single blade. I think. Do you know something? I think it's a beautiful, beautiful knife, but I just wish it was a bigger, fatter blade. If that makes sense. It's such a big handle blade.
But the blade does look a bit out of place. It looks like it should be fatter, not so much longer, just taller.
It's beautifully made, lovely knife, half stop on it, pretty centered right down. It's beautiful, but it's just that blade. I can't love that blade.
That's I think we are great. They're both.
When I carry it for a couple of days and do it, it might change. You never know. I've got a habit of changing. But I look forward to having a wee go at that.
Yeah, I know it was a nice one to see. But yeah, I think I mean one way or other, I'll see if it moves it on. I'm sure it'll find somebody's.
It's a beautiful knife. Yeah, it's a beautiful knife. And like case collectors are like book collectors, or like GEC collectors. They like them all.
Yeah. It's all about what
it doesn't matter what it looks like. Does it have casement on the packet? Yeah, I want it. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. And they really are. Case collectors are just blind to the fact that there could be anything wrong with a case knife.
The blade could wobble like this. They wouldn't care. It's got casement.
Oh, it's fine. It's got a nice.
No. Now, am I going to have to rein you two in? There could be a case collector in the chat here. I'm not having a kick off. It's not happening. So stop it, you two.
I am one of those case collectors, but not to the same extent. I do buy quite a lot, but not to the extent of anything.
Yeah, do you know, as I've got older and in this collecting wise, I tend to buy. I don't buy a lot. Like I wouldn't get a Warncliffe and then buy another 5 in that same make, just in different covers. That doesn't appeal to me. Whatever make I'm in, I just want one of each pattern. I don't collect 2 or 3 of each pattern, or very few. The GEC's the odd one out, especially with the 15 pattern, which is my favorite. But I like to have so many different ones. There's nothing wrong with collecting like that whatsoever. I mean, if that's what you want, like, this is a free word. It's my money. Until somebody gives me money, they can tell me.
Your approach is as valid as anybody else.
Well, that's exactly what my case collection's like. Bar the 2 half whittlers I showed the other day on 2 for Tuesday. Every one of my case knives is different scales, different blades, everything's different. This is the only sow belly I have, but I've got Barlows, Stockmans, little whittlers. I've got a little tiny miniature Stockman. I've got one of basically. I'm just going to get one of every pattern, like you said yourself. But other things like the Rough Riders, I've got like 4 or 5 Rough Rider Barlows, 4 or 5 of the sow belly Stockmans. It's weird how it's just like, case, no, I just want one each of these, but Rough Rider, I want them all. I don't you can't explain it.
Well, part of it is price, I suppose, because I mean, Rough Rider you can afford to just because you want to. I find that with the Swiss Army knives as well, is that when you had one, one huntsman, all of a sudden you had 5, but they're all the same except for different scales. So, but then you start to narrow it down and narrow it down and narrow it down. It's I think it comes round. Yeah, it does. Everybody has their own particular go. Listen, guys. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No, you carry on. I'll go after. Go carry on.
No, I was just going to say that we're over an hour now, And usually at this point, we invite the guys in the chat to start firing questions to us as we start to wind up.
Go for it.
So,
Ben.
well, questions from Matt, as opposed to us. We've wittered on long enough. So this is your final opportunity to ask Matt any questions. So stick them in the chat and we'll fire them at him or he will.
Ask away.
While we're waiting, Matt, you'll be welcome anytime on this channel. If you've got something you want to show off and you want to come on for 10 minutes, even just to show a new knife, please, just give us a wee tinkle and we'll sort it out. I'm enjoying the build-up of more local knife collectors, should that be England, Scotland, Ireland, anywhere, Wales, and Northern Ireland, of course, where we are. So, but yeah, all the locals, I mean, it's great to get them together and get a community. And hopefully one day we'll have a knife show that's going to be for all of us. We'll pick a central place like Bangor, where I live.
Yeah, I think that would be very good.
We'll have a knife show.
We'll pick a central place, just outside my house. That'll be the central place, yeah.
Yes, and just for your information, it's Bangor, Northern Ireland, the proper Bangor, Matt. Okay, not Bangor, Wales. Or Bangor, or Bangor, Maine, for all of our American brothers.
I spent a lot of time down in your part of the world. Obviously, as I said, my ex-wife was from there, so we were down in Slaneckley.
Yeah.
So,
Matt, there's a question for you. Do you have a holiday-themed knife from Randy?
I actually don't. I don't have any holiday-themed knives at all. I've seen the Rough Rider ones, like they pop up occasionally. I don't know what it is about them. The sort of themed knives, like you can see, like Thrifty Kniffy had like the Zorro themed knife, like the anniversary for Zorro. I don't know what it is about those. They don't, the patterns on don't do it for me, like the themes sort of things. It seems more, it's like that's what we were saying at the start. That seems more like it should be artwork, not a knife.
Yeah.
I would love. There's them Rough Rider ones that do with all the girls on them. There's about 5, and that takes me back to my youth.
That's a different topic.
But it really does take me back to my youth. We're in a seaside town, and it's the sort of thing you got sold in the seaside in the wee shops that I would have bought as a child. The pens with the wee girl in the swimsuit, and when you turned it upside down, she went naked. I would love them wee knives.
Like the packs of cards with I'll just say the people on them.
Okay, we're going dark. Oh yes, quite right, Stuart McCrae. We are now the city of Bangor.
Well, that's right.
That makes it even more attractive as a central meeting place.
Nothing in it.
Okay, Matt. Here's another good knife question for you.
The Otter Anchor. I've actually not got one. I do love the look of it. I like the look of the they do the 3 rivet knife as well, don't they? The Anchor. Yeah. I love the look of those. I think Stephen might have one. Yeah.
There's one. I love this one because I was in the Navy.
Yeah, I love them. I just haven't got round to. It's on the list. It just hasn't arrived yet. If that makes sense. It's that sort of list. You put it on the list. You're like, I'll get this next, and then you do this, and then something else arrives.
To be honest with you, they're an absolutely beautiful knife.
They really are.
Yeah,
really lovely. But it's probably one of my least carried knives for some reason. I can't give you a reason why, because that blade's beautiful.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's thin behind the edge. It's really lovely.
I mean, that's a ram's foot, basically.
Yeah, it is a ram's foot. Yeah, it's the old sort of sailor's knife for putting over big thick rope and chopping. But it's one knife that I don't carry for sort of. But I've quite a lot of knives that were like that. That I buy them because I love the look of them.
Yeah.
But they're not necessarily something I really want to carry a lot.
Okay, another question from our main supporter, Gizmo. Fire Ant or Firefly fire starter for Swiss Army knives?
No, I haven't. I've seen them. I've seen umpteen reviews on them and what they're like. It's one of those things where I look at it and think, I will get it, but I'm not going camping right now. So it's a later thing. But no, it looks fantastic. I love the little Firefly starter kits from them. They're brilliant. Little tiny steel, everything.
Yeah, it's an expensive get over here. I don't know about in America, but they're very expensive for what they are. They're just stupid prices over here in the UK. I'm a cottonwood ball and a wee bit of Vaseline on it. Stick it in a thick straw, melt both ends down, put it in your go bag, and you can start a fire anywhere. That's my just go-to.
But a lot of it is about you just want to try it. Then you're like, oh, I'm going to buy the gimmick, try it. I probably won't ever use it again.
Exactly. But the real attraction of the Firefly and Fire Ant is the fact that it packed with your Swiss Army knife. I can't remember which one's with it. I think the Fire Ant is the starter, and it slips into the toothpick holder, and the Firefly it twists as the tinder, which twists into the corkscrew. I just think it's genius, and I love especially a tiny little gadget. I think it's a brilliant idea. But I agree with Stephen. I think it's overpriced getting it over here. I've got a couple of them in some of my Swiss Army knives, but the trouble is I can't remember which ones because they all look the bloody same. And so if I was going out camping, I would have to go for my dedicated Swiss Army knife and remember which one had the thing in it, you know. So it is kind of ridiculous.
Look, it's been wonderful, lads. Thank you so much for those in the comments. I know we probably didn't get to all your questions, but I hope we got to most of them. We'll have another one of these next week. Not sure when. We'll have to work around work life for Justin here as a poor worker. He has to go to work every day, and it kills me to watch him. I listened for him in the morning, got up past me. It's really sad. So take care, Matt. Thank you so much for coming on. This is probably the worst podcast you'll ever come on. But we've enjoyed having you, and hopefully we'll see plenty more of you. And good luck with your channel from me and Justin, definitely.
Definitely. And absolute pleasure, mate.
And those that I barred from coming on the YouTube channel again, you're unbarred now. I've had a leap of life.
Final words, Matt. Over to you.
Thank you very much for having me. I love coming on here. It's a big sort of step for me to come onto a live. It's especially so new into like starting YouTube videos. It's like a big jump for me. But I'm loving it. It's just nice to meet you and speak to you in the new normal in person. But no, it's fantastic. I just can't wait to see what's going to happen in the future. But thank you to everyone that subscribed, everyone that's posted comments in the live. Let's just see what happens from here.
Really, I look forward to watch you grow and pass me. You take care. Everybody else, I so appreciate people coming in now. We're getting great. I just love it. So thank you so much to everybody. And lastly, Justin, the word for today is goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Get into it. I know. We'll let Gadget Gus have the last word.
Yes.
There you go.
Be well, everyone, and God bless. Take care. Bye-bye now.
All the best.
Stay on there, Matt.